Hello. Good morning, neighbors. Just like all my work, this is for the children. Now, it doesn't matter what you're doing, anything and everything will apply to this story. All you're going to need to do is change those details. Anyone can get these things. Anyone and everyone. Don't give up. Never give up. All you're going to need for this to work is competition, a teacher, and effort. That's all you're going to need. That's it. This is how we're going to get this started with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, freedom, peace, and one love. Let's go.
Hi, I'm making this video. This video's going to be about what a lot of my videos are about, which is unobtainium. You may have heard that from a movie. This unobtainium is going to cost you. You're going to need some form of competition, like, sports competition or musical competition, any kind of form of competition. And you're going to need a good teacher. And it's going to, of course, cost you something, which is your time and your effort. And what you're going to get is perseverance, which is to keep going. It's a continued effort despite difficulties, failure, or opposition. It's an attitude despite challenge. It's commitment, endurance, and persistence. That's perseverance. You're going to get determination, which is staying focused. You being unrelenting in your purpose, decisions, and goals. It's your resolve, your resolutions. You're going to get drive, which is propelling oneself. It's impelling yourself to action. Your motivation, your energy or force behind what you do. You're going to get discipline, which is being true to oneself or a controlled way. It's what we follow internally. It's an orderliness. It's development, focus, training is discipline. And maybe the most important piece of unobtainium you'll get is will. Your will, which is your disposition. It's your direction, your passion, your wishes, your desire. It's what you command yourself. This is a long story and I'm a long-winded person. But I'm going to try to make it short. I'm going to forget a lot of things and leave a lot of things out. Never get something perfect when you're just working off a memory, do you? This story starts out when I was little, probably somewhere around the 2nd or 3rd grade. All you Cobra Kai fans out there, martial arts fans, sports fans. That's how the story begins. Kung Fu flicks on the weekends, on Sunday afternoons, back in the day. All that stuff. I saw it as a very young child, and you get these ideas in your head, and when you're little, you want to be something, you want to achieve something. And it was that, and it was probably bullies in school. People getting picked on, beat up, or bullied. I didn't like it. I mean, I've been bullied a lot. Especially when you come from a school that's primarily one nationality or one race, it seems like it can be real bad. It's ugly. It's a terrible thing. A lot of people, I think most people go through some of it in some form or another. And, I was born here in this country, but my mom is Japanese. She's born in Japan. And my dad, he's of Irish and German descent, but born in this country. So I look like a mixture of my mom and my dad. And a lot of people say I look more like my mom. Um, I got those chinky eyes. Yeah, I got those chinky eyes going on. Everybody wants to get up on words and terms like Oriental or Asian or, what should I call you? Well, call me whatever you want. You're not going to bother me anymore. Because I was bullied. Once you realize what's going on and once you get a sense of self and you get some of this unobtainium, it really doesn't matter what anybody calls you anymore. It just doesn't matter. So I got this interest in wanting to be a kung fu master and protect people. I thought I was the protector. I thought I was like the guardian. Look out for the weak and the meek. And so I get into these fights on other people's behalf that were being bullied and stuff. I figured I'd go and learn martial arts. And so my father took me to this place in town in South Orange, New Jersey. That's where I met my sensei, Mr. Shimamoto. Hi, sensei. I first went there, and he teaches karate and judo. Just to give you guys a little background on him, he's from Japan, and he came over before he had that dojo or that school. He came over years and years before I actually met him. In fact, he was one of the first senseis from Japan to come over on the East Coast and try to set up school and teach and help people with self-defense, because that's what those things are. They're not particularly designed for offense. They're designed for self-defense and defense. And of course, you don't know this. You don't know this going into it, and you think you're gonna kick some ass and take some names and shit. Well, that's not exactly how things work. So I met him and wanted to do karate. So he goes, yeah, karate. No, I'm too young for that, he goes. How about judo? I had no idea what judo was. Judo is kind of like, it's similar to wrestling, sambo, jiu-jitsu. It's kind of more towards that. Throwing and grappling and choking and leg locks and arm bars and all that good stuff. It's less punching and kicking and hitting. I started going to practice in the kids' class. What was it? 3-4 times a week. an hour at a time. Which is an important thing to understand, because the more time you put into whatever it is, the quicker you're going to get this unobtainium. So the more effort, the more time, the more unobtainium. It's very simple math there. There's always competition in the school, in the class. You know, you're competing against your peers in the same class. You want to be the best. You want to be the strongest. You want to play the instrument the best out of everyone there. Especially if people play the same instrument. Right? You're striving to be number one. And it's this competition that is so important and necessary for the acquirement of unobtainium. So you're small in class, you know, and I'm little, and there's bigger kids in the class, you know, there's higher ranking kids, you know, it's like, you know, so I'm getting beat up, you know, I'm getting my butt kicked in class by the bigger kids, by the older kids, you know, they're really beating the little kids up, you know, you get discouraged. A lot of people quit. Most people quit. You got to keep going. No matter what it is you're doing. If you want to be better at it and good at it, you got to keep going. If you want this unobtainium. So, you know, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade. You know, and all this time I'm also playing, like, you know, I'm in soccer leagues, I'm on baseball teams, I'm swimming all the time. You know, I'm doing other sports and other activities. I was incredibly athletic. I loved sports and competition. You know, I was a midfielder in soccer. I was a pitcher in baseball. So yeah, so then what is it? 6th, 7th, and 8th grade is like junior high. Now, I think maybe I started tournaments in judo, maybe, I don't know, maybe around the 5th grade, 6th. If it wasn't at the end of grammar school, it was definitely at the beginning of junior high that I started going to tournaments. Now, this is after doing thousands and thousands of push-ups and sit-ups and already being thrown around and bullied in in the dojo by the older kids, the bigger kids, you know. This is after several years of that. So I go to a tournament and I'm losing. I lose. And I lose, and I lose, and I lose, and I lose. So, you know, you're being thrown. Now I'm in public. Like I am now. And I'm being thrown in public, and all these people are watching, all the parents are around, and, you know, and you want to do your best, and you're being thrown and landing on your butt. You're just, you know, you're constantly getting back up. You know, this is very important to what I'm telling you is, you know, falling and getting back up is very essential to this story about unobtainium. Because you're going to do a lot of failing and redoing and retrying and getting back up. And there's going to be a lot of embarrassment, and there's going to be a lot of failure involved. So I lost and lost and lost. Now 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and I'm still doing all these other sports, you know, and I'm losing and I'm losing and I'm still losing here. You know, still being thrown. And there's still these kids in the junior classes that are kind of bigger than me, older than me. They weigh more than me. They're stronger than me. And I'm still getting kind of beat up by them, you know? And I get to high school. Now we're in high school. Okay. Finally, we're getting somewhere with this story, huh? I'm just trying to express to you guys that this ain't gonna be no, it ain't gonna be no Cobra Kai thing, okay? That's what I'm trying to get at with this. Being long-winded is a part of that, okay? It's a part of it. It's a long story. It's what it, it's decades, okay? Stay with me here. So, I do, you know what? Here we go again. Yes, here we go again. I do want to mention that, I walked to school. Like, I walked to grammar school. I was in Maplewood, New Jersey at the time. I went to Clinton Grammar School. And I was on Oakland Road. And I walked back and forth to Clinton Grammar School, which wasn't that bad. But junior high, I was in Maplewood, and I went to South Orange Middle School. And I lived on Oakland Road. I think it might be like over an hour. And I had to take a certain way. I'm not gonna get into that, but I had to avoid town because of the strictness at home. I'm gonna leave that out. Okay? You guys are getting some benefits here, even though the story is a mile long. I am leaving stuff out, but the point is, yeah, I walked to school, and over an hour, so that's over 2 hours a day, and I was just kind of, I didn't get it. Like, I was the type of kid who would carry all his books to and from school, even though I didn't really, wasn't using them at home. Like, I wasn't like studying with them. I don't know what I thought. Maybe I thought if I carried them, they'd somehow go into my brain or something, I don't know why I did that. But I did a lot of carrying. I carried like all my books. They were huge, like books like this, like huge books in my backpack. It was heavy, man. And I always did that. Back and forth, back and forth. Go home, not open one single book. I'm carrying them back to school the next day. I'm bringing them back home again. What I'm getting at is there was something to it. It helped, actually. It made me stronger. Walking all that distance and carrying all those books, it did have an effect. When I was in high school, Columbia High School, I rode my skateboard, which is, I just want to tell you that was an experience. Like, I mean, it's all, I happened to be all downhill, so it was there was a lot of balance involved. There was a lot of fear involved. In the morning it's wet out, and it's like a death-defying act to, ride your skateboard to school every morning. You actually can get a lot out of that if you don't kill yourself in the process. There was still, nobody wore pads, nobody wore helmets. There was none of that. So that's not what I'm recommending. It's just, I'm just trying to tell you how it was. Okay, back to it, okay? Back to the story. So, junior high, going into high school, now I'm on the swim team. Now, the swim team practice in the morning before school. So you had to get up extra early. You don't like getting up for school? You can't get up on time? Yeah, you're getting up 2 hours early. to go to practice before school. Think about that. You're going to practice, then you're going to go to school. You're going to be like, oh, I'm exhausted, and you're just starting school. Okay, so there was that. And then somewhere between the end of junior high and the beginning of high school, I started to enter the adult class in judo. I was kind of like out of the kids class, coming out of the kids class, and entering the adult class. What did I do? What did my sensei, thank you, sensei, what did he do? He told me to go to both the kids class and the adult class. So now I'm going to both. I'm going to swim practice in the morning before school. I'm getting out. I'm going to the kids class, which is early in the evening, and then I'm hanging around or whatever, or going home and eating and relaxing for a minute and coming back for the adult class. So now I've got 3 workouts a day, right? I still haven't won a single tournament. Not one. Been thrown around 100,000 times and choked out and beat up all over the mat. But I haven't won anything, right? Okay, so the biggest tournament comes around, and that was, for us, it was the East Coast Judo Championship. That was the biggest tournament around. I was getting geared up, man. I was getting ready. I was getting, I was getting mentally, this whole time I'm getting physically stronger and prepared, but now I'm like concentrating on my mental. I'm getting mentally prepared for this huge tournament. I'm ready. I'm in the right frame of mind. I'm not gonna lose. I'm gonna win. You begin to feel the win. You begin to see the win. You have to convince yourself you're gonna win. You have to know you're gonna win in order to be a winner, in order to become a winner. Of course, plus the training and the preparation, all that, of course. But it's just as much a mental process as it is a physical process. And this is what I was beginning to understand. You have to be focused. You can't be thinking about anything else. You want to take it to the next level? You're thinking about it when we wake up in the morning. I'm at swim practice. I'm thinking about judo. I'm thinking about winning. I'm swimming, but I'm thinking about judo, you go to sleep. You're thinking about how you can be better. You're thinking about techniques. You're thinking about what went wrong in practice, what went right while you were competing against your peers. What went wrong while you're at tournaments? Why did you lose? You're thinking about it. You're always constantly taking these things into consideration. And you strengthen your mind as much, or if not more so, than your body. Your mind and your heart and your guts need to be strengthened more than your body. In fact, your body is just kind of the vessel. It's kind of like you do this over and over again to gain repetition, for your body to be able to do and feel without thinking. Like it's a natural kind of reaction. That's why you're doing this over and over and over and over and over again. It could be the same thing